Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? So today I wanted to do just another brief self-help video, basically to help you guys to get on track to see how things really work. And what I want to talk today about is about the struggling versus allowing. So here's something we must realize, guys. Okay, life basically is not meant to be a struggle. When you are struggling to find happiness, when you're struggling to manifest a job, money, career, whatever, it is an unnatural law of the universe. Struggle is unnatural. It goes against the grain of the universe. Let me prove it to you. Let's look at nature, for example. Okay, when the rain falls and the water comes down, look at the water. Look at the rain drops. The water flows. It doesn't struggle. When grass blooms or grows, or a flower grows, it just grows. It doesn't struggle. A matter of fact, a grass or blade of grass, not only does it grow without struggle, it penetrates through concrete. It grows through concrete. Even a flower, this concrete cement cannot stop it from growing. It busts through and grows. It doesn't struggle. All right, that's the universal law. Let's look at something else. Look at animals. If you go outside, you look at a duck, a squirrel, a bird. Look how well fed they are. They don't struggle. They are not cognitive. They don't have a consciousness as us, but yet all their needs are met. They are well fed. They have abundant food, everything. So the question becomes, so why do we struggle? Okay, I'm going to get back to that in a second. But let's talk about how we discovered this. So basically, what's going on now is that modern science, or modern era science, has just caught up with how our mind and how the universe works. So we knew these things for thousands of years. We knew how pretty much, the heart, the mind, reality, attracting. We knew how these things work. But here's the good thing now. Modern science has caught up and has now proven to us, in particular, the study in neuroscience, which studies the brain, how it works, how it maps reality, and now quantum physics or quantum mechanics, predominantly quantum mechanics. Now, quantum mechanics, roughly about 100 years now, this science has been out. And the beauty of quantum mechanics is this. It shows us in experiments and mathematical formulas how the universe really works. So it shows us how things are created and how they are attracted. And it proves it to us. So based on modern quantum physics and the founders, you have Albert Einstein and, of course, Niels Bohr. So based on quantum mechanics and quantum physics, coupled with neuroscience, now we know how our minds work in relationship to manifesting and creating reality. So back to the question, okay? So why do we struggle? Why do you struggle? Struggle is unnatural. It goes against the natural laws of the universe. So here's why you struggle. You struggle because your mind is limited, because you believe that struggle is natural. Okay? That's why you struggle. Let me repeat that again. You struggle because you believe it's natural. You were taught it's natural. And according to quantum physics, it shows us now that what we believe to be true, our subconscious mind will create and attract a reality to prove it to us. That's the simple fact. So you struggle because you were taught through genetic programming, through social, environmental conditioning. When you were young, you have to work hard. You got to struggle to make it to the top. Now science has proven to us that if our minds believe these things, guess what? Quantum mechanics now proves that an observer creates and collapses a reality based on that. So in other words, if you think it to be true and you feel it, your reality must manifest and it must prove you to be right. These are proven scientific methods. The mathematical calculations always add up. Quantum particles will always behave in a way that they are observed. Your mind, particularly your subconscious mind, must always prove you to be right. So when you believe that you must work hard, that life sucks, you can't have this, boom, your reality has just been manifested. And here's something else that quantum mechanics proved to us. There are no such thing as a material reality. It's not real. It's a perception. I'll go over it again. I touch my steering wheel here with my fingers. When I touch it, it feels like I'm touching it, but I'm not actually touching it. It's my brain's 5 senses are telling me that I'm touching it, but that is incorrect. That's an illusion. What's really happening is the electrons in my finger are reacting with the electrons in the car steering wheel, which creates a negative impact or negative repulsion, therefore creates a force that pushes each other out. So when I touch it, it's the electrons in my finger and electrons in the car pushing back against each other. That's it. If God or the universe decided to turn off what is known as the electromagnetic spectrum, which is a natural force of the universe, if God says, look, I'm going to turn off magnetism, when I touch my steering wheel, my hands will go right through the steering wheel. Right, because guess what? There is no repulsive force. That's proven, my friends. That's your reality. It is a perception. Okay? That's what science has done for us. That's how science has caught it, showed us. So if you're struggling right now, the reason you're struggling is because these three factors. Number one, your conditioned mind programming, the ego. Number two, your subconscious core limiting beliefs. Okay? And number three, having the awareness and resistance. These are why you're struggling, guys. So that is a huge tip. That's information that's just been recently discovered. They're nearly 100 years. So now we know why things work the way. So the big tip is for you this. Have an awareness, know how to master and condition your mind. All right? And this is why I'm here. This is why I come out here. This is why I begin this. This is why I coach and I mentor. I bring individuals from what I call a reality loop of their mind. I take you out of that reality loop, that mental reality loop, and I bring you into what is known as your higher self, that you can take control of the ego and then you can control. Here's some fact. 99% of individuals, even maybe you watching this right now, you're not using your mind, my friend. Your mind is using you. How can I prove this to you? I'll ask you one question. Do you have what you want? Do you have what you desire? If your answer is no, then your mind is controlling you. You're not. All right? So those are some tips that you guys can use to be in awareness. Now you know how your mind works. Now you know how reality really works. And these are things that we can prove, and I can prove them to you, and I encourage you to go do your own research. See for yourself. See the quantum physics. See quantum mechanics. See how particles behave. Because remember, we are all derived. We are made from these packets of energy. I call them quantum particles. They become electrons, protons, become an atom becomes matter becomes bone, cells, tissues, etc., etc., and looks physically real. Okay, guys? So keep in mind these very simple principles, okay? Thank you for watching. We'll talk again.